This algorithm, it basically takes in a string and it looks at each word in the sentence here and reverses it. So we're going to convert this thing into an array, and then we're going to reverse the words. So the would be EHT, right? And so the one thing is, after that, we're going to maintain capitalization. So when you reverse it, like with the, for instance, the T is going to be capitalized. And that's not what I want. What I want is to make this E capitalized like that. And so brown will be a tricky one. And so it's preserving capitals, which will be a bit tougher to get through, but we're going to get through it all, and it'll be good. So thanks for tuning in, and let's get started. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is convert this string into an array. And we'll just do the split here. And we'll split it at each word. Let's see what that looks like. There it is. All right. And we're going to look at each word. And we're going to say for each word, now we've got the word. So what are we going to do? We're going to create a couple things. First thing we're going to do is create an empty array. Well, it's not going to be empty yet. Let's do just like a new array. And so reverse array. How about that? Okay, that's a better word. And we're going to create a string in here, and this will be a temporary string where when we reverse each word, we're going to put it into this string. Okay, and at the end, we're going to, when we're done with each word, we're going to just push that word into reverse array. The push, right? The new string. Like that. So we're going to do some logic in here. We're going to reverse each word. And then we'll push it into the reverse array, and then we're going to return the reverse array. And we're going to turn it into a string. So we'll do it with spaces. So like right now, we could just do 4, right? And we're going to loop through the string. So let I equals word.length. I is greater than 0. I minus minus. So go to the end of the word and then keep going until I is greater than 0. But the problem here is that with length, and I discussed this in another video, with the length method you can use for strings or arrays, it looks at natural numbers which begin with the number 1. Whereas when you're iterating through an array, like so, an array is considered whole numbers, the way the index works. The index is basically how we find elements in an array. So to find the word the in an array, it starts at 0. And to find the word quick in an array, it starts at 1. It goes to 1. So then this is 2 and this is 3. The index looks at natural numbers and it says the is 1, and this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. So if you were looking at word.length, since length looks at natural numbers, it would say that there's 4 elements in this array, which would be correct. But if we wanted to get the indexes, we would be 0, 1, 2, and 3. That's why you have to go word.length minus 1, and I is greater than or equal to 0 because we're actually iterating through the array. So 0 is the first index, 1, 2, 3. So that said, we're going to go new string, plus equals, right? The word at I. Okay, so just quickly, if you haven't seen other videos, to access the value in an array, you have to put the index number. So it's works like a library. If you were looking for a book, you need a number to find where it's cataloged. So in this case, we're starting with the the position here, which is 0, 1, 2, 3, right? So word.length is 1, 2, 3, 4, right? But we're actually 0, 1, 2, 3. So the last element right here is this index, which represents 3. I think I explained that before. Sorry if I'm beating this to death, but it's important because you want to be able to think through what an array is doing. As you get more and more complicated, you have to be able to visualize and think through exactly how an array behaves, like when it's iterated through a loop. Anyway, so if we run this, you'll see everything's reversed. So technically we're done. This is pretty much reversing each word in the array, and we're all set. But we want to take it a step further, and we want to deal with the capitalization problem, right? So how do we do that? Well, with the result I'm looking for, right, is EHT as an example of the. I want the E capitalized because E is in the first position here. All right, so now we're iterating through each word. So we're creating a new string, and the new string contains the current word that we're iterating through. And so let's just console.log that. See, we're getting each one. Now what we want to do is we want to only deal with the words, the current temporary string. Let's just call this temporary string temp string. It's a better way of describing it. Let's make sure that it runs. Okay. So we're looking at temp string, and we're saying if temp string dot match, it's a string method, if it matches a capitalization, and we're using regex expressions here, which I have in another video, previous video, which I'll link. Get into regex a little. If it matches this condition, meaning it contains capital letters in there, I want to mess with that. So let's just look at ones. Okay, so the two words that have capitals are the and brown, right? So those are the two that I want to manipulate. Okay, so how do we get into that? We have to do a replace. And, first, life would be easier if we just made two lowercase. Right, okay, two lowercase. And so we're going to look at each word instead of the temp string here. So watch this, console.log, temp string. We're still going to get the in brown because they contain capitals, as you see here. But we're already doing some of the work needed because we want to make everything lowercase, because we don't want the T to be capitalized. Now we have to get the index and we have to capitalize it. So how do we do that? Well, okay. We have access, we have to create access to I. We need an index of each temp string. So if I say let temp string let I equals 0 and I is less than temp string dot length I plus plus, we're now only going to have, you know, the words in temp string that are going to be needing capitalization. So we're going to say temp string equals temp string dot replace. So we're going to get the current we need the current like capitalized index of whatever word is. So if word at I dot match the same condition here, if word dot I that matches, then we're going to go like this. We're going to say temp string equals temp string dot replace temp string at I. I'll explain this in a second. Temp string at I dot to uppercase. Okay, good. So we've got it. The E is capital because it's in the same position. The first letter in brown, which is N, should be capitalized, which it is. And the R, which would now be over here, is capitalized since the W was capitalized, which it is. And so if we did like C, for instance, see, now the U's capitalized in that position. Okay, so what I did here was I needed the index of the word that contains a capital, and since I had access to the word, all the words in the array that match a condition of a capital letter, which is up here, it enabled me to be in that space where I'm dealing with the word, then I'm looping through the word, each word, and watch. So console.log, word at I, and you'll see console.log I, and then word. Right, so I'm now looping through each word, and I'm looking at each character. And I'm getting the correct indexes because I have conditions here that allow me to be correct. Just watch, if I don't have that condition, if we take that same thing, put it in here, it would go through the, and then brown, right? But I'm saying, if it's capital, that's what I'm interested in. I'm interested in the current index of I. So if this current word is capital, I want the index, right? If this current word is capital, which it is, I want the index. And then I'm going to the temp string, and I'm going to the index in the temp string. Let's see, console.log. Temp string index, right? And the temp string is like the reverse. So take those in. Right, so 0T, and then I'm saying go to the E in temp string, right? And make it capital. 0 for brown, right? Go to the index on brown, which is here, it's 0. Go to temp string, and then take that N, which has now been reversed, and make it capital, right? See the N here? It's on the 0th index right now. I mean, it's a little confusing, but like if you mess with it, it starts to make sense. It's one of those things where you have to kind of do, but that is a way of doing this kind of manipulation. And I hope you learned something, and thanks for tuning in. Until next time, take care.